There are people who spend their entire lives chasing something impossible, a dream, a memory, a person. And sometimes that dream destroys them beautifully. New York, a city glowing with money, music, and endless parties. Champagne flowed through golden halls. Jazz echoed through the night. And behind every smile, loneliness waited silently. Among the richest men in the city, one name seemed surrounded by mystery. Jay Gatsby. A millionaire nobody truly understood. Every weekend, his mansion exploded with music and light. Hundreds of strangers filled his home. They drank his alcohol, danced beneath chandeliers, whispered rumors about his past. Some believed he killed a man. Others claimed he was a war hero. But nobody knew the truth. Because Gatsby was not building parties, he was building a dream centered around one person, Daisy Buchanan. And somewhere beyond the darkness, across black water, a small green light continued shining silently. This is the Great Gatsby. Nick Carraway arrived in New York searching for a new life. He rented a small house in West Egg, a place filled with newly rich millionaires. Huge mansions lined the coast. Luxury everywhere. But directly beside Nick's small home stood something extraordinary. Gatsby's mansion. Massive. Elegant. Almost unreal. Every night, music drifted from its gardens. Cars arrived endlessly. Beautiful women laughed beneath golden lights. The entire city seemed invited. Yet strangely, nobody ever saw Gatsby himself. Nick watched the mansion from his window during silent nights. And one evening, he noticed a lonely figure standing near the water, a man in complete silence, reaching his hand toward a distant green light across the bay. That man was Gatsby. Nick soon entered the world of old money, a world completely different from Gatsby's. There he met Daisy Buchanan, beautiful, elegant, fragile. Her voice sounded soft enough to hypnotize people. But behind her beauty, there was sadness. Daisy lived with her husband, Tom Buchanan, a wealthy man born into privilege. Tom possessed everything: money, status, power. And yet, he remained cruel, arrogant, empty. Their marriage felt cold beneath its glamorous surface. The mansion looked perfect. But inside, love had already died long ago. Nick slowly realized something terrifying about wealth. Money can buy comfort, luxury, beauty, but it cannot save people from loneliness. Sometimes it only hides it better. One evening, Nick finally received an invitation, unlike everyone else, because most guests simply arrived without permission. Gatsby's parties felt unreal. Champagne towers, dancing beneath stars, music so loud it erased silence itself. People whispered rumors endlessly. Gatsby killed someone. He was a German spy. He inherited royal blood. Nobody knew the truth, and somewhere inside the crowd, Nick finally met Gatsby. Not the monster people imagined. Not arrogant. Not loud. Instead, he seemed strangely lonely. His smile carried sadness hidden beneath charm. And when Gatsby spoke, Nick sensed something fragile inside him. Like a man terrified his dream might disappear at any moment. Slowly, Gatsby revealed the truth. Years earlier, before the war, he fell deeply in love with Daisy. At that time, he was poor, unknown, without status. But Daisy represented everything he desired: beauty, elegance, the perfect future. Then war separated them. And while Gatsby fought overseas, Daisy married Tom Buchanan, a wealthy man capable of giving her security. But Gatsby never moved on. Instead, growth implied being stars. Every party, every dollar, all for one purpose: to bring Daisy back. Even Gatsby's mansion existed for her. Because across the water, Daisy's dock remained visible from his window. And every night, The green light glowed silently in darkness. Hope, longing, obsession. After years apart, Nick arranged a meeting between Gatsby and Daisy. At first, the atmosphere felt painfully awkward. Silence filled the room, both trapped between memory and reality. But slowly, old emotions returned. Laughter, smiles, shared memories. And Gatsby looked at Daisy with overwhelming emotion, as though he had finally reached heaven itself. For Gatsby, this reunion meant everything, because he believed something impossible, that the past could be repeated perfectly, that love could survive unchanged through time. But reality does not preserve dreams. Reality changes people, and Gatsby refused to accept this truth. As Daisy entered Gatsby's world, something changed. The parties no longer felt magical. The illusion began cracking, because Gatsby loved not only Daisy herself, but the idea of her. The perfect dream he created inside his mind. And dreams rarely survive reality. Tom Buchanan quickly noticed the growing relationship. Jealousy turned dangerous. Tension filled every room. And one unbearable afternoon, growth exploded. Inside a New York hotel, the truth finally surfaced. Tom accused Gatsby openly, called him a fraud, a criminal. And Gatsby, for the first time, lost control. He demanded Daisy admit she never loved Tom. But Daisy hesitated. Because reality is complicated, love is complicated, and dreams cannot erase the past. In that moment, Gatsby's perfect fantasy began collapsing, slowly, painfully, irreversibly. Night covered the city, rain blurred the roads, and tragedy arrived suddenly. A woman stepped into the street. A scream echoed through darkness. Then silence. The car never stopped. And everything changed forever. Fear spread instantly. Secrets deepened. And Gatsby, still hopelessly devoted to Daisy, prepared to take responsibility for something he did not truly cause, because love had consumed him completely. The parties ended. The music stopped. The guests disappeared. And Gatsby's mansion became silent. Terribly silent. The same people who once filled his home with laughter vanished instantly when tragedy arrived. No loyalty. No friendship. Only emptiness. Nick remained one of the only people still beside Gatsby. And for the first time, he understood the full tragedy of the man. Gatsby spent his life chasing a dream already impossible. A dream so beautiful, he willingly sacrificed reality itself for it. Then one morning, as sunlight reflected across the swimming pool, Jay Gatsby died, alone, still believing Daisy might call him. But the phone never rang. Why does the Great Gatsby still haunt people after all these years? Because beneath the luxury and romance, it tells a painful truth about human beings. People build their lives around dreams, around memories, around things they believe will finally make them whole. And sometimes, those dreams destroy them. Gatsby was not evil, not foolish, only human. He wanted love badly enough to rebuild his entire identity around it. But the past cannot truly return, and reality never matches fantasy. Still, there is something beautiful about Gatsby's hope. Even at the very end, he continued reaching toward the green light, toward possibility, toward something greater than himself. Perhaps that is what makes him unforgettable, because every human being all has their own green light somewhere in darkness, a dream always just beyond reach. And here, at NOIIR, we explore stories exactly like this, stories about loneliness, desire, human nature, and the dangerous beauty of impossible dreams. So if you enjoy cinematic storytelling, psychological depth, and stories that stay with you long after they end, then welcome home. Subscribe to NOIIR, because some stories are not meant to be forgotten. They are meant to be felt.